And happy Monday. It's frosty out there today. It was under the freezing when I got up this morning. Sometimes getting started is the hardest thing to do. We're going to talk about how to get started right after this.
I want to be your disability rep.
I think we find in just about everything, getting started is the hardest part. I mean, whether it's estate planning or starting a new TV show or working on your disability case.
Yeah, usually it is. And the interesting thing here about Social Security is that people don't oftentimes realize all the steps that they have to take, even to get their application started. So, it's a question that comes up from time to time. And how do you get started? Well, there's a couple ways. You can call Social Security, and Social Security will set an appointment and fill out the application for you on the phone. You can also file on their website. You can go into the office, which usually translates to them then setting an appointment for you sometime in the future. Very rarely can you go into Social Security and actually be seen that same day. But here's kind of the kicker on this. If you file online, which is what they try to drive all the traffic towards, you actually just file a placeholder. You don't file an application. And a lot of people don't understand that after you get that placeholder, somebody from Social Security will either reach out to you on the phone, or they'll send you an application summary by mail that you have to sign. So you either attest by phone or sign the application summary. If that doesn't come back into Social Security, after about 60 days, they act like it never happened.
Oh, wow. And then about how long does it take them to actually reach out, usually once that placeholder is filed?
3 weeks to a month.
3 weeks
and
to
so,
a month.
unfortunately, this is the problem, right? It takes 3 weeks to a month for them to reach out. At 2 months, you're pretty well out of luck. And so it's a relatively narrow window that you have to respond to Social Security to sign the application or attest to it.
Oh, wow, yeah. So, because you may think that you're done once you file online. Do a lot of people think they're done?
Oh yeah, most definitely they think they're done. And unfortunately, people have the Obama phones or the whatever phones we want to call them. At this point, numbers change often. People lose phones, they move, all those sorts of things. Any kind of hiccup like that keeps Social Security from being able to reach out to you.
Right.
People tell me all the time that Social Security is not real diligent in their efforts to get a hold of people.
Right.
I don't know, maybe not. But unfortunately, a lot of applications or a lot of placeholders are bounced without actually being processed or a disability determination even being made.
Well, it seems like the easiest thing to do would just call you and let you stand in line for me, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the other option, is to hire a representative from the very beginning. Unfortunately, a lot of representatives don't want to take initial claims.
Really?
And that's just simply a money thing. The back pay is how they're paid, as a percentage of the retroactive benefits. With new applications, there's a very small retroactive window. And so a lot of attorneys, a lot of representatives just simply won't take initial claims.
Just tell you to go file yourself.
That's right. If you're denied, come back and see me when there's a big bunch of money that I can collect from. I don't work that way. Yeah. I take initial claims for people all the time. There's a high denial rate at Social Security, and all likelihood we're going to end up with an appeal anyway. And quite honestly, if your case is obvious enough that you're approved at the initial level, I'm not going to do a lot of work on it.
Right, yeah.
Right, I mean, it's just the way that it works. You know how this works. The more you develop out a case, the more invested you are, the more you want to be paid for it. But if you come in with end-stage renal or stage 4 cancer or something of that nature, there's not a lot of work that I'm going to do on
Yeah,
that
sure. No,
case.
that makes a lot of sense. Any other additional advice for people wanting to get started?
Yeah, another thing that I tell folks is the difference between Social Security disability and the SSI program matters when you first file. And so the disability program is what we've paid into through the years. It's a benefit where we draw our money back. The SSI program, by contrast, are for folks that don't have a lot of work history. And so those folks, they file for that SSI program. And the thing that's important to remember is that SSI can be payable the month following the month of application. Whereas the disability application, there's 5 wait months that are built into the program. So there's 5 full months after you're found to be disabled that they simply won't pay you. You just have to wait. And so for a lot of folks that don't have a lot of income in their household, you want to file for both programs.
Oh, I see.
And that way you can have that SSI program kind of come in as a consolation prize, if you will, to help cover those first 5 months before your Social Security disability begins.
And then does that SSI payment get replaced by SSDI, or does it continue to persist as well?
Yeah, it depends on how much money you've paid into the system and what your payment comes back out of. For a lot of people, when their disability kicks in, their SSI goes away. They get a pay raise. But there are some folks that are lower earning folks that draw from both programs.
I see. And SSI, you do have to have some work history, or no?
No.
No, not for that one.
No,
Oh.
no, not for the SSI program.
Okay.
But for disability, of course, that you do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you have more questions or you just want to get started, give Roy a call. You can visit his website. You can scan the QR code on the screen or call that number right there, 417-812-6690. And we'll be back next week with more for the Disability Guide.
I want to be your disability rep.